Jasson Dominguez may not be able to play left field, but don't judge him by one mistake or two or 5 or 10. Allow for Brian Cashman and the newly extended Aaron Boone to put their heads together, form a smart rock pile, and decide whether Dominguez can be a left fielder. It's embarrassing when you have a player who you have changed his position and that player doesn't do well. Why do I know this? It's the first lesson I ever learned in baseball. It's the first lesson. April 3rd, 2000, game number 1 of my career. Dodgers beat the Expos 7-4. Kevin Brown beat Dustin Hermanson. We changed Michael Barrett's position to third base because we wanted Chris Widger to catch. We did a position change in spring training. You've got this, Michael. It's ground balls. Don't you worry. First batter, Michael Barrett, ground ball, boom, right through his legs. I'll never forget that as long as I live. That's 25 years ago. I can't remember what we were talking about, though, that I'm thinking about the Expos. Position changes. When you do a position change for a player, you really want that to work. And so what you do is when you see that it's not working, you make sure that the media who's covering your team in spring training or during the regular season, you make sure that we send out either the AGM, usually not the full GM, but you send the AGM out just to maybe to the press box during the game after an error, or maybe you have it during spring training when they're waiting outside the clubhouse. Hey, man, we couldn't be more positive that Dominguez is going to be a good left fielder. We are so sure that Altuve can play left field. I can't even tell you. Obviously, I'm not on the record because it's only the GM who talks or the manager. But my God, we have spoken to Altuve and we've been hitting him fungos. He worked during the offseason. He worked like Caesar, like a Trojan. That's how well. But we don't know. We don't know. We just assume. We put Miguel Cabrera in left field. The guy had one minor league game in left field. He was a third baseman when he was a kid, a much different looking. He was a child. He was 20 years old. We were like, he's ready for left field, right? Sure, he got one ball hit to him during BP. Done. Bring him to the big leagues. All the discussion that is about position changes comes because media and fans talk about it way more than we do. Having Jose Altuve move to left field, having Alex Bregman move to second base when he is a Gold Glove third baseman, and you have Devers at third base in Boston, and you've got all this tension, or with Hanley Ramirez and Jose Reyes, who's going to play short, who's going to play third. We're not spending months worrying about this or thinking about it. We're speaking to the player, we're making the change, and we're saying, hey, try not to get off on a bad foot. Try to hit well, because if you're hitting, no one will care how you're doing defensively, and try not to let us ever see the back of your uniform. That's a very simple rule for a outfielder. I don't ever want to be able to read your name squarely. It means you're running back to the wall. It means either it's a home run or you misplayed the ball or it went through your legs. That's all. I'm not asking that much. I'm not worried about Altuve in left field or Bregman at second base or Dominguez in left field. I'm just not worried because as an executive, you do not ever overweigh the good or the bad. You use it as confirmation bias, of course, if Altuve makes a great play in left field, having never played there in his 14 years in the big leagues, but he's a Hall of Famer and a Hall of Fame hitter, as you imagine. He was a Hall of Fame second baseman. He was good as well. Either way, Hall of Famer. But in any case, we don't put him out there and then worry about it. I can't possibly explain this to you enough because it's getting all this attention about position change. And you know, the Marlins, after I left, did something. Do you remember when Jazz Chisholm changed positions? He was an infielder, then became an outfielder, and then the Yankees put him at third base. This year he's going to play at second base, I think. I think he's their permanent second baseman now. It doesn't mess with the psyche of a player. It doesn't mess with their hitting. It's just a coincidence when there's a position change that comes with a batting slump, because then people blame the position change, even though the player and the management knows that it's not the position change. Everyone needs an answer or an explanation to when things go wrong. Oh my God, Dominguez made an error. It's the position change. He's not a left fielder. He's a center fielder. I need everyone to breathe, everyone to keep calm. God knows you're going to read more about it. And I just want you to smile. I just want you to smile every time you read about an executive or someone in the media or your friend talking to you about, ooh, the reason why this happened is the position change. Nope.